I've built a lot of secret rooms in my house. Secret fridge, secret mirror.
But there is one problem. These are permanent and can't move.
So I wanted to see if I could build a secret room that could move with me wherever I want.
Now you're probably wondering, how do you do that?
Well, where I lived growing up in Ohio, the one thing in everyone's front yard were bushes.
So what if I turn a regular old bush into a secret mobile bush to see if anyone will notice it's there? Sounds easy enough. All right, so here's the plan. First, since I obviously can't fit inside of a bush, I'm gonna have to build a custom one. Second, I'm gonna have to cover it in something to disguise it as a bush. Third, I'm gonna have to find a way to make it move. And lastly, I have to put it to the test to see if anyone will notice it's even there. No pressure. Wait. That's actually a lot of pressure.
So after spending around an hour coming up with blueprints, it was time to go to the store and pick up supplies. Now, in order to make this bush mobile, I needed to build it out of something that was going to be light enough to pick up and move. So I decided the best thing was to make it out of PVC pipe. PVC pipe is a lightweight material that will work perfect for building the shell of the bush. So I picked up the rest of the supplies I needed to pull this off, and it was time to start building.
All right. What the? This is not very helpful.
So the first step, I got to build the shell of the bush.
Time to cut the PVC pipe. It's not scary.
And that should make the back of the bush.
Hey!
I need that. Can I have the part back? Okay, you keep that one. So after a lot of cutting and assembling, the skeleton of the bush was complete, and it was time to put wood around the entire thing to turn this into a real secret room.
It's so much easier in movies.
And isn't that a touch? I even created a secret window to look out of.
Boom. What the? Hello?
And after I installed the door,
So this is the entire shell of the bush.
now before I can add the bush material, I needed to paint the entire secret room green. That way it'll blend perfectly with the bush material.
Now while I'm painting this thing here behind me, it'd be awesome if you guys would subscribe. We are so close to hitting 10 million subscribers. We're only like 8.5 million away.
Now, to make this look like a bush.
Artificial bush. So if I cover the entire box with this, it should look like a perfect bush.
Now adding this bush material was a lot harder than I expected because every single inch had to be covered for this to look like a real bush. That looks so crazy.
I think when this thing is done, it's gonna be one of the coolest things I've ever made on this channel. This is the final staple. Wow. And just like that, secret bush is done. Comment down below the last time you saw a bush like this. Actually, wait, maybe.
Now once the entire bush was ready, it was time to make this thing mobile. So I went online and bought an epic off-roading go-kart. This will allow me to drive it on the road as well as off the road through the woods. And after around a week of waiting,
I think I bought a kid size.
but I was determined to make this work. So I put the bush over my new Epic Kids go-kart and strapped the whole thing together to make sure the bush doesn't fly off the go-kart.
It's time to see if this thing will actually move.
Moment of truth.
It just freaking works.
I just made a freaking bush that moves. This is literally one of the craziest things I think I've ever done on this channel. So if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. It's a cool way to show me how much you guys like the videos. Now I think the next thing I need to do, it's time to take this thing on the road and see how fast it goes. Out my window.
All right, let's drive this thing. Here we go. Neighbor's commenting how great. There's a car behind me. Now after driving this thing around the neighborhood, I decided to surprise my girlfriend and ask her this.
God, please don't let me get hurt. Drift.
What do you think?
Honestly, I think it's the best thing you've ever built.
Yeah, I'm honestly hyped on this one.
What are you gonna do with it?
We're gonna race.
Me and you?
Yeah, you're gonna use that.
You're gonna build me a Brit bush?
You know what? This video gets 10,000 likes, I'll build you a bush.
You really will?
No. All right, let's race.
All right, Brett, we're gonna race from here to the red car at the end of the street. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Here we go. Full speed.
No, I can see her in front of me. No, come on.
Winner.
No! You just flew past me at the end.
I can't believe I just lost that. Even though I lost the race, it was time to see if anyone will actually notice this secret bush. Now, I knew I was gonna need some help pulling off the rest of the video, so I flew out my best friend, Nick.
Ready?
Yep.
Look at my bush.
Bro. That is epic. But you probably shouldn't tell me to look at your bush on camera, man.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound that
But
good.
this is actually no way.
Isn't that so cool?
Welcome to the Krusty Krab. Can I take your order?
So it's time to put this thing to the test. I had Nick bring my family all the way out to the edge of our property, where I'm gonna call one of them and tell them this.
What's up, brother?
I'm hidden somewhere on the property, and if you guys can find me in 10 minutes, I will take you wherever you want and buy you whatever you want.
All right, when do we start?
3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Let's go get in my spot. Let's go.
It would be like painted to blend into a perfect tree, so we have to actually be checking.
Take it easy. Okay.
Like, I feel like his head is gonna be like actually just blended into a thing of wood.
I gotta do this turn just right to try to make it to the trail. Come on, come on. That didn't sound good.
I don't see anything. Unless he is the pile of leaves, then I doubt it.
I'm making my way through the trail right now. Alright. I think this is the perfect spot.
Probably in like a full chainsaw outfit or something. I don't know.
I hope they're not sprinting through the woods because I really don't want to buy them whatever they want. So I got this little camera that attaches to my phone. This way I can stick it outside of the window and look around without this thing ever being seen.
Yeah, check under the bridge, Kate. He is not.
I hear them over here.
You'd think the amount of times that I played hide and seek that I would be. Okay, what is that?
Oh, that wasn't there before. Yeah, that he's in that box.
Why is it shaking?
Wait, it's a car? What? What do you think? That's incredible. Out of all the secret rooms I've made, what do you rate this one?
I think I would rate this as my favorite secret room ever.
This is the most Ohio thing I've ever seen. You guys also found me in like 5 minutes.
Let's go!
This ice cream tastes so much better knowing you paid for it.
I completely agree.
I just built a secret movie theater in my house, and here's why. I love movies, but so does my family. And every time we watch movies together,
Wait, have you seen this?
it's annoying.
Wait, look at this. Look.
So I'm going to build a secret movie theater so I can watch all of my favorite movies without any distractions at all. So I started looking around my house to find a place to build this secret movie theater, and that's when I remembered I built this secret drive-thru a little while back. Let's see how this thing looks. It is a little run down, but I think this room might just work. Now, the #1 comment I got about this secret drive-thru was that it's not that secret because of, well, the door right here. It just opens up and goes to the hallway.
There's a door there. It's not secret. Bruh, there's a door there.
There's literally look at that door.
Bruh, the door.
You guys see that door?
I completely agree with you guys.
So because of that, I'm gonna have to level up my building skills. So here's my plan.
First, I'm gonna remove this door and build a secret entrance that I've never built before. Second, I'm gonna turn this drive-thru window into a real movie theater ticket booth. And third, I'm gonna transform this room into my very own personal secret movie theater. Wish me luck. First things first, we gotta remove that door.
Oh, wow.
The next thing I gotta do is remove all this trim.
Now to really test if this movie theater is secret, at the end of the video, I'm going to have my family search the house to see if they can find it.
Oh, wow. If my parents saw this right now, they'd kill me.
Not too bad.
So now that I have the door off, here is my idea for the new secret entrance.
I want to build a secret bookshelf entrance. I've always seen these in the movies where you pull a book down and it opens up a secret passageway leading you to a room that nobody knows about. So in order to do that, I need to first reframe the door.
Got all the pieces laid out? Now it's time to build the frame.
Now the frame is very important because this is going to allow the bookcase to fit inside the door. And if any of the dimensions are off, the bookshelf won't open and close like a secret door.
Now let's go install it. Moment of truth. Oh my god, it's getting close. Might be a little big. It fits. Oh, I thought I was about to fall. It just barely fits. So now that I know this thing fits, it's time to drill it into place. How do you think this is gonna go? Ow! Okay, so it's probably not gonna go too well. So now that I have the new frame in the doorway, it's time to start building the secret bookshelf. Face! Alright, everything is in place. Let's see if it opens. Oh, that is sick. And then now, I'll be able to open it and walk inside here. And then I can close it. That is so sick. Did I just lock myself in here? Oh, there's a latch. There we go. Whew, that was almost a short video. Okay. So now that I have the secret door made, it's time to nail this thing into place. Oh my gosh. What the? Look at that. Oh my god. That scared the crap out of me. So now, it's all flush and framed in. Now, it's time to add the bookshelves. Oh my god, it's really coming together. That is so cool. I'm like amazed right now. I've always wanted to make one of these.
Well, how did I do? Are you falling asleep? And while Lulu was resting, it was time for the next part of the build. Jizz?
Build one of those secret books that you pull down and it opens up the secret entrance just like you see in the movies.
So I added a latch at the bottom of the door and a handle that I connected to the book.
So now, whenever I pull the book, it'll pull the handle and hopefully open the door.
Then I used a wire to connect the book handle to the bottom of the latch. And just like that,
that is so cool. Oh my gosh. So now that I have my new secret entrance, it's now time to work on the ticket booth. I haven't used this in a long time, so I wonder if this sign even still works. Oh yeah, I forgot how cool this looked. So now I need to replace this drive-thru sign. So I got this new LED sign that says theater. This way when you open up the picture, it'll say theater. And I think I ran into a huge problem because this is so much smaller than the other one.
It's literally half the size of the other one.
I was really hoping that was gonna work. I might have an idea. I might be able to put it above the open sign so that way it'll look like it says theater open. The only thing is to do that, I have to find a way to turn all these lights off so that just the text open lights up. I don't know if this is gonna work.
but there's only one way to find out. So I started peeling off the drive-thru letters from the LED sign, and then I added some black tape over the letters just to make sure that the light didn't shine through. Then I taped the theater sign to the top and finally put everything back to its place. And just like that,
3, 2, 1. Oh, I gotta plug it in. All right, everything's plugged in. Let's try it for real. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. This looks freaking incredible. Now, in order to make this a real ticket booth that you would see at the movie theaters, you need tickets.
So with the ticket sign and the tickets already, it was time to move on to the most important part of this build, the movie theater. So here's my plan.
I want to put lights up in the room, add drapes and a TV just like you would see at the movies, add in somewhere to sit, and also the most important part, snacks and popcorn. Shouldn't be too hard, right? First thing we need is lights in here. Now I put up lights in here a while back and I have no idea if they still work because it's been so long. All right, here we go. I think this is it. Oh yeah, thank God it still works. That looks awesome. Time to start building the movie theater screen. Now, one of the most iconic things at the movie theater are those red curtains that surround the entire screen that you're watching the movie on. So, I picked up some red curtains, and now I'm gonna try to build that.
So I spent the next 30 minutes measuring, cutting, and adding this curtain rod, and just like that,
That's looking pretty good so far. So now, I'm gonna add a small strip along the top and the bottom. This way the whole TV should look like it's covered in these red curtains. That looks freaking crazy. Now it's time to add the bottom one. Dude, that looks like a tiny little movie theater. That is so cool. This is so wild.
and since the curtains made such a huge difference, I decided to use the rest of the curtains I had left over to finish up the ticket booth.
So I made this little mini curtain that's gonna go right here in the doorway. Just like that. So now I can open this up so that you can get your ticket for the movie theater. So now to point towards the movie theater, I got this cool light that says cinema. So now I'm gonna add it to the wall. Oh, that's sick. Finally, the last sign is one of the most iconic ones, and that is popcorn.
And since popcorn is such a big part of movie theaters,
I got a popcorn machine. A million parts. Get out of there. Is that a wheel? Oh my God. You know, I didn't even make a mess. You know?
but thankfully, with the power of editing...
Yo, that's insane looking. Now let's plug it in and see if it works. Plugging it in. 3, 2, 1. We got a popcorn machine. Now my only concern is because this is so big, I have no idea if it's gonna fit, but there's only one way to find out. Popcorn machine's in. And the final touch. A sign that says popcorn. This is looking so cool. Now you can't have popcorn without candy. So let's add a bunch. Oh, that looks great. All right, the last thing I gotta do is add a bunch of books to this bookshelf to make it look real. And funny enough, my parents actually have an old bookshelf. So I'm gonna take a bunch of these books and add them to mine downstairs.
Now, I'm pretty sure nobody has ever read these books and they're just literally here for decoration. So hopefully no one's gonna realize they're missing, because as soon as I build this secret movie theater, I'm gonna have my family search the house and see if they can find this secret movie theater.
All right, the bookcase is done. And yo, it looks so good. This literally looks straight out of a movie.
Yo. Oh my gosh.
Now, the last thing this theater needs is a chair.
And with the addition of the chair, my secret movie theater was complete. With a complete ticket booth, snacks, and of course, the movie theater.
This literally looks like a perfect replica of a giant movie theater, just way smaller. This is so sick. Now it's time to put the secret movie theater to the test.
Alrighty, you guys.
You will have 10 minutes to find me, and if you do, you'll get free movies for the rest of your lives.
Come again? Yeah. Free snacks, free drinks.
Wow.
Actually, yes.
Ooh.
That's
All
a
right.
big commitment.
I'll take that.
You guys are gonna count to 60 in the bathroom, and then you're gonna try to come find me.
60 seconds closer to free movies.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
All right, guys, 60 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
All right, while they're counting, I'm gonna go get inside of the movie theater.
7, 8, 9, 10.
34, 35, 36, 37, 38.
39, 40.
All right, now we see if this movie theater really is secret.
60.
Okay.
Finally!
Let's do it.
First up, we need popcorn.
All right, nothing is off limits.
Gotta find them.
Secret piano, maybe?
Yeah, I always thought Drew's gonna do something on the piano because he's a musician.
All right, got my popcorn, my candy. Now, just gotta find what movie to watch.
It's functioning.
What if it's like Batman where you press a specific key and it will open?
Press all of them.
That was beautiful, but no.
The movie I picked is a classic, 21 Jump Street. I'm curious, comment down below what your favorite movie is.
It's gotta be up here.
Ah! You're so much faster than me.
And to really throw them off while they're searching for me, I bought a red carpet and red ropes to make a fake Decoy movie theater.
Guys?
This way they'll think they found it. In reality, they'll be nowhere close.
Oh.
I think I found
What is that?
Drew, I know you're in there. Bow! Oh! What?
Did he just pull a decoy on me?
Oh my gosh, he's wasting our time.
A bait and switch?
The king of decoys.
Alright, there's only one place left to look, and that's the basement.
We gotta find it, guys. Time is almost down.
I can hear them coming down the stairs now.
Alright, where could he be, guys?
I think.
They just came into the room.
Are you in
This
here?
is the secret fridge. Not on this one.
Yeah, he's not in here either.
Did you find
Ben
Drew?
scared. No, I found Ben and Ben. Dummy.
Oh. I got the garage.
Alright, I'll check the back.
Where is he?
I couldn't believe how incredible this movie theater turned out. I was watching my favorite movies while eating my favorite movie snacks.
God, it stinks in there.
Nope, not in here either. We must.
And to make it even better, my family couldn't find me. Behind this old arcade machine is a secret room that nobody knows about. Here's why I built it. For the past year, I've been trying to play video games in peace, but every time I go to play, this happens.
Wanna watch this 10-hour series of paint drying with me?
So my goal is simple. Build a secret gaming room that nobody would ever expect, and just in case someone came close to finding it, there would be something there to distract them so I don't get interrupted. So, let me take you back a few days ago. So I was looking around and I honestly think I found the perfect distraction, an arcade machine. When I was younger, it was almost impossible to walk past one of these bad boys without playing it. The only thing is, these things cost thousands of dollars. So I'm gonna see if I can try to find an old one on Facebook Marketplace. So after a few hours of searching, I finally found the perfect one. All right, so I found one and they want $500 for it, which is honestly a lot for a used arcade machine. So I'm gonna try to negotiate it for lower. Do you know how to negotiate on Facebook Marketplace?
I got it. We're gonna go there, put the arcade machine in your car, and drive away without paying.
Nick, that's not negotiating, that's just stealing.
Oh, right. Let's do it anyway.
After not taking any of Nick's advice, I was luckily able to negotiate it down to $350. All we gotta do now is go pick it up.
And then put it in your car and drive away without
Nick,
paying.
we're not gonna steal.
Fine.
So after they sent me the dimensions of the Pac-Man machine, I went to go check my car to see if it would fit. And sadly, we had a huge problem. No way. I really thought it was gonna fit in here. I didn't think it was gonna be that long. So she said. And just as I was contemplating whether or not to go with Nick's plan, a miracle happened. So they just said for an extra $50, they'll drive to the house and drop the arcade machine off here.
Bro, that is perfect. Can't believe you wanted to steal that.
That was your idea.
I would never say something like that.
And later that night, they arrived with the arcade machine. And this thing looked epic. The only thing left to do was to carefully put it in the house and test this thing to see if it actually worked.
Oh, there it goes.
Wow. All right, so now that I have this giant old school arcade machine, here's my plan.
In exactly 24 hours from now, I will host a game night to see who can get the highest score on Pac-Man. And while everyone is taking turns practicing, I will be getting all the practice I need in my personal gaming room completely undistracted. So with only 24 hours left until the game night starts, it was time to figure out the most important thing. And that is where I'm gonna build this secret gaming room. So after searching every room in the house, trying to find the best place to put this secret gaming room, I found the perfect spot. All right, so in this back room of our house, we have this that pretty much we just use for storage. Honestly, I think this is perfect. I think it's also terrifying. In a previous video, we heard rats back here.
What the fuck was that?
But
It would make a pretty good secret gaming room.
And now that I found where I was gonna put this secret gaming room, we had to clean up everything around it so it looked as legit as possible.
All right, we got everything cleared out around it. Now it's time for the part I'm not looking forward to.
Clearing all of this out.
So we spent the next 15 minutes clearing out the room to transform it into a secret gaming room, which we may or may not have broken a few things.
Okay. Also okay over here.
But just a few minutes later,
Everything's so loud.
we were done.
The next thing I gotta figure out is actually how to make this secret door.
So I sketched out my idea, and this is my plan.
I'll first add 2x4s to the door frame to make a new door frame. I'll then put some decorative wallpaper all the way down the wall and cut out a perfect hole that fits perfectly with my new door frame, so I'll be able to get in and out of this secret room behind the arcade machine. You know what's next then, Nick?
What's next?
Home Depot.
Yay!
Why does something always have to go wrong? We just got in the car, and normally your tires are supposed to be at like 35 PSI. Mine's at 17. That means I pretty much have a flat tire.
So we headed to our nearest tire shop just to find out.
There's a nail in the tire. All the times we built stuff, there would be a nail out there. I have roughly 2 days that I can use this until I have to either replace the tire or get a patch, but it should be good to get started.
And thankfully, a few minutes later, we made it safely to Home Depot.
It's good to be back, man.
Yep.
We spent the next 30 minutes picking up all the wood we would need to create a secret entrance. And we had everything cut down to the right sizes, just like I had sketched out on my plan. But when we headed back home, we ran into a really big problem.
Wow. So it's bigger at the top, and then once you come down, the door gets more narrow. I've never seen a door like that. That's cool.
And with time running out, we cut our wood pieces into the right dimensions, and a few minutes later, it fit. And with all the wooden pieces at the right dimensions, we started drilling our frame together to create the secret entrance to my gaming room. And just a few minutes later, the frame was finally done, and it was time to add the wallpaper.
Look how cool this stuff looks.
With the clock ticking and game night approaching very quickly, we spent the next hour adding wallpaper to the walls.
It's honestly not too bad.
And right as we were getting back on track,
All right, well, a little injury along the way, but
Wall's done.
oh, this isn't bad. Now it's time to turn this
Into a secret gaming room.
All right, so every good gaming room needs stuff inside of it. Actually turn it into a gaming room. That's what I'm gonna buy now.
so I bought all the accessories I could find that would fit in the gaming room and have same-day delivery. And just a few hours later,
Got my stuff. LED lights. More LED lights. I honestly don't know what this is. LED sign. LED remote. Finally, some extension cables. Let's go turn this into a gaming room. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is fill this entire thing with LED lights. Now let's see if it worked.
Wow. That looks so sick.
Time to start adding the rest of the stuff.
Game zone. Look how cool this looks. Check this out.
This is like my dream as a kid. This be my gaming room instead.
Now all the lights are done. It's time to start building the actual gaming setup. Let's hope the monitor holds on this. The brakes, who cares, right?
Me, it's mine.
Controller. Here. Let's need more static. Got it.
Room. Someone, that's your sister.
Yeah. I don't think she'll mind.
Ow, is it my head? Oh yeah, oh, that's sick. Now for the most important thing.
My Xbox.
Your Xbox. I was praying that would fit in there.
You can put it sideways like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Which side goes up?
Aren't you a true Xbox enthusiast?
Yeah.
In case I get thirsty, we got some Prime.
and with just over an hour left before everyone arrived for the game night, the room was finally done.
And now it's time for the most important part, and that is actually hiding this room. So to do that, we're gonna use this. Here's the only problem. This thing weighs about 500 pounds, and if we're gonna make this thing a door, we have to put this thing on wheels.
Let me guess, back to Home Depot.
No, we're actually gonna go to Lowe's.
We could never cheat on Home Depot.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go to Home Depot.
So we rushed to Home Depot to pick up the wheels.
So stupid, I almost fell.
And we headed back home so we could hopefully move the arcade into place without breaking it. But after some small adjustments, we luckily didn't do any major damages and were able to wheel the arcade into its final spot.
Wow.
And with just a few minutes away from game night starting, we put everything into place, and just as I thought we were done, we ran into a huge problem.
As cool as this thing is gonna look, I need a way to be able to push and pull this thing towards me like a door. And right now, once my hands get close, they'll get caught. So I need to build some type of pulley right here so that I can pull it back and forth.
So we risked drilling a small handle in the back of the arcade in hopes that we didn't break the arcade. And with the handle working,
The only thing we gotta test now is if the arcade machine turns on after drilling into it.
I'm so nervous. I'm sure.
System installation.
Initialization, Drew.
Oh. Why is this taking so long? I'm so nervous. Something came up. Why'd you drill in the back? It works.
and with everything working perfectly, it was finally time for the game night to see who is the best gamer in the house.
Since I'm gonna be in that gaming room, I need you to gather all the roommates up and start the Pac-Man game night.
I can do that. Like now?
Yeah, like right now.
Oh.
And as Nick left to go get everyone to bring into the arcade room, I headed into my secret gaming room so I could practice as much as I wanted to prove I am truly the best gamer in the house.
All right, practice some Pac-Man.
And while I was getting my practice in, I started to hear people arrive.
Hey, sound shocked.
And while everyone was playing Pac-Man and taking turns, I was playing Pac-Man all by myself, completely uninterrupted.
Literally ate that toast. Why does it sound like they're having more fun out there than I'm having in here? I'm so curious. Comment down below what your favorite secret room is that I've ever built.
But now it was finally time to put my practice to the test.
That high school Pac-Man.
I would like to go.
Excuse me?
Hi, where did you guys come from?
All of my practice, time, and effort has come down to this very moment. It was finally time to prove that I am the best gamer in the house.
Dude, you lost like immediately.
I just built a roller coaster that goes through my entire house, and here's why.
Growing up, my favorite roller coaster was called the Serpent. I still remember I waited in line for 2 hours just to ride it one time. But sadly, the next year, the theme park closed down and the ride was gone.
I was actually so devastated, I tried to build it out of toys in my house.
So my goal is to rebuild the Serpent through and around my entire house. That way I can once again relive that roller coaster that was taken away from me as a kid.
There's just one small problem.
How the heck do I build a roller coaster?
Now, roller coasters are extremely expensive to build, and since I don't have anywhere near that kind of money, I'm gonna have to build this the cheapest way I can think of,
And most importantly, make it safe enough to ride.
Now, lucky for me, my parents are gone for the week.
So hopefully when they get back, the house isn't destroyed.
So I spent a few hours watching YouTube videos about roller coasters, and I felt a lot more confident on how to build this.
So you can build homemade roller coasters out of PVC pipe and 2x4. So that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do.
So the first thing I needed to do before making this huge roller coaster was to build a test track to see if I could even make this work. So I went to the barn to see if there was any 2x4s and PVC pipes, and I actually found some. So I picked everything up and took it all back to the garage so I could start the build.
Now I need to figure out how wide to actually make this track. So I cut a bunch of wood at different lengths. I'm gonna see which one fits the best for this track. Got the small one first. Don't think I'm gonna be able to fit on something that narrow.
Next, I'm gonna try this one.
I am pretty tight in here.
Let me try this final piece.
That is definitely enough room.
So I'm gonna cut a few more of these and line them all up.
So after measuring a rough number on how many pieces I would need to build this, I cut all the wood pieces and drilled them into the track.
Looking good.
Now that I have the track made, I need to find a way to put it in the air. So my idea is to take some of the scrap wood, go here, drill these together, and then when I flip it over, I'll be able to lay that section of the track on top of this. And hopefully because of this right here, the track won't tip over.
So I spent the next 30 minutes making 5 of these supports that were gonna hold up the track. And although it started to look like a real roller coaster, there was one very serious problem.
Still like has a little bit of give on either side here.
Which means if this small test has this give, the bigger roller coaster could create some much bigger problems.
So to give it some extra structure,
I'm gonna add these pieces to either side.
now it'll have a lot of extra support and strength to hold me up.
So I cut a few more pieces and drilled them into the track, and after around 30 minutes,
Woo! All right, so I have my track made, but in order to even test this track, I'm gonna need to make some type of coaster so that I can actually ride across the track. And to do that, I'm gonna need some wheels. A lot like these. Now this chair I have here only has 5 wheels on it, and I'm gonna need a lot more. So I have a bunch of my old skateboards, and I'm gonna take the wheels off these to make the coaster move.
so I cut up some old metal and bolted the skateboard wheels on it. And just like that,
This thing looks insane.
Just like that. It'll go back and forth. That is so cool.
well.
And although this looked awesome, for this to work, I would need something bigger.
All right, so I put 2 of them together. It works. Yo! Oh, it's gonna hit the camera. That works so much better than I thought that would work. Now I'm gonna make 1 more of these, add a platform on top of it, and then I can finally test out this track.
And after 2 hours of building,
That is so cool. I mean, this looks super dangerous right now, but it will look like a roller coaster. The next thing I need to do, lock this into place and then add a platform on top. This way I can sit on it. This is so sketch. So now the test is to see if this track can hold me and if this cart will move. All right. Okay. All right. That did not hold me at all.
so if I was gonna survive the full-size roller coaster at the end, I would need to come up with something way more stable. And after some thinking,
I'm gonna add a 2x4 to the bottom of this so that hopefully once that's in place, it'll keep it from pushing forward and me falling like I just did a minute ago. Hopefully.
so I added the 2x4s and drilled them into place.
Ow.
And to my surprise, this made the structure way stronger than I expected.
Oh yeah, that's already, it ain't going nowhere. No way, it works!
Now this worked perfectly. The structure was strong enough to hold me while I was moving on the coaster. But I will say, this felt way slower than I wanted, so I needed to come up with something that would make it move fast.
So the roller coaster I rode as a kid went 31 miles per hour. My electric skateboard goes 28 miles an hour. So I'm gonna try to add my electric skateboard to the coaster. So hopefully with the skateboard going full speed and I have gravity helping me when I go down the hills, I should be able to hit that same speed of 31 miles per hour, just like I did when I was a kid.
So I added 2 extra boards to the track so the skateboard wheels could ride on it. But after a few more minutes of drilling everything into place,
Electric skateboard, test 1.
and although this worked perfectly, every good roller coaster has an actual seat. So I found this old fishing boat chair in the storage room, which I really hope no one ever looks for. And after drilling the seat into place, there was only one thing left to test on this roller coaster.
Please don't let this all break. 3, 2, 1. Yo! That works so well! This is sick! Even though this thing is made for a bunch of random junk I found around the house, this is one of the coolest things I think I've ever built. Oh my gosh. The only thing left to do is to make a lot more of these and start building a real roller coaster all throughout my woods and house.
So I measured every single part of my house that I thought this roller coaster could possibly go through, and I went to my local hardware store to buy all the supplies I would need to build a ton more of these tracks to place them throughout my whole house. So I spent the next few days literally just building roller coaster tracks. But if this roller coaster was gonna be anything like my favorite childhood roller coaster, it needed an epic start. And I have a crazy idea on where to do that.
And that is right here out of this window. Now listen, I know that sounds crazy, but picture this. Imagine starting right here inside and then going out and around the house. I've never seen a roller coaster like that in my life, so let's try to be the first to do it.
Now for this to even work, I needed to make sure that the track can fit through the window. And after measuring the window, I realized
the only way I'm gonna actually fit through this window is by taking all of these off. Do you know how to take off the windows? Yeah, I didn't think so.
And after wasting the next 10 minutes trying to figure out how to take off the window,
we got the window out.
But after putting the track piece in place, I realized that we might have a big problem.
The track just barely fits. So I'm gonna need to get the coaster to see if it'll even fit through this window here.
And thankfully when I placed the coaster,
this just barely fits on either side. But I did realize one massive problem. This is all the room I have right now, and the seat alone comes up to about right there. So fingers crossed, once I take this off, I'll be able to fit through this window.
And now that I'm officially an expert window remover, after a few seconds,
I should be able to ride this thing, duck down a little bit, and fit through it.
Now for the roller coaster to be able to curve around the house, I needed to find a way to bend the pipes. So I created this wooden structure to put the pipes in for a few hours so they would stay bent.
Oh yeah, that's bent.
So I connected the rest of the track outside the window, and after a few hours of building,
that is so cool. I still can't believe that I'm actually doing this right now. All right, going through the window. Test 1, here we go. That is insane. Oh, I almost went off the track at the end. Now I'm gonna make a bunch of track to go around the side of the house that's gonna connect to the front door.
So I spent the next couple hours connecting the window track to the front door, and this roller coaster started to look very promising. I literally spent the next several days just building and connecting track.
Now I'm gonna connect the track that's on the side of the house to the front door. That way I'll be able to start the track from my window, go around the side of the house, and then hopefully go through my front door. This is definitely a lot more building than I was anticipating, but if I pull this off, I believe this will be 10 times better than that roller coaster I rode as a kid, mainly due to the fact that it's at my house.
So I put in all the track I built over the last couple days and connected them all the way to the front door. And after a couple hours of lifting, guessing, and drilling,
That's gonna work perfectly. So now that I have the track all the way to the front door, my idea is to have the track go through the entire house. Now here's the thing. That is gonna be the most difficult part of this entire build because I could damage the walls, damage the furnitures, and most importantly, damage the floors.
and since I really don't want to damage anything in the house, because if I do, my parents will honestly never forgive me, to get some inspiration, I decided to visit the abandoned amusement park where I rode the Serpent as a kid.
It's crazy to think that just right over there is where I stood in line for hours to ride the Serpent, and it's just no longer there.
It's crazy to think that when you're a kid, you feel like some things will last forever, but before you know it, they're gone. But at the end of the day, nobody can stop you from creating new and better experiences. So after visiting one of my favorite places as a kid, I was determined to create a new favorite experience as an adult. But before risking my good relationship with my parents by building the track inside their house, I had the craziest idea yet.
So I really want the track to go through the woods, but it's gonna need a lot of momentum. So my idea is to build the track going off the deck.
So I took off the railing. Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. And then I started placing the track leading off the deck, starting to make the roller coaster go downhill. That way, if everything goes well on this roller coaster, I'll be able to accelerate and reach that 31 miles per hour just like the original Serpent did. And after an hour of drilling literally every piece of wood I could find,
See if it holds my weight. Yeah, that's sturdy. Oh, scared me.
and with the structure holding me up pretty well, I continued adding more track and tested it to see if it worked.
It's holding up. It's holding up. That works great.
Now it's time to build something on the track I've been really looking forward to. Every good roller coaster has a good hill. So
I'm gonna put mine right here. After the roller coaster goes off the deck, it goes all the way down.
this massive hill. I'm out of breath from doing that.
So I spent the next 30 minutes bringing up the rest of the track pieces and connecting them to the hill part of the ride. And yo, this was looking sick.
Actually, like a real... Just swallowed a bug. Oh.
And with the track looking honestly better than I expected, it was time to test it out.
All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. Well,
I forgot to screw in a piece.
okay, we're picking up speed. It works a lot better putting a screw there.
Next, I'm gonna put track all the way up this hill. This way, after getting all the momentum of going down the track, it'll go uphill, so that way it'll hopefully stop me and I won't fly off the end of this and die.
And after an hour of connecting the track,
No way. Thank God that happened now and not while I was riding it. Note to self, put screws into that.
and approximately 45 minutes later,
It's not half bad.
So this is the end. I made sure it was the end by writing the end on it. This is a freaking roller coaster just going through the woods. I have dreamt my whole life of doing something like this and I can't believe it's finally coming together. Oh my God. This is so cool. I am hoping to God the roller coaster stops before it hits this right here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fly off.
and with the outdoor track finally complete, it was time to build the final and hardest part of this track, the indoor track.
So here is my idea. I want the track to come in from the front door, ride through the hallway, through the kitchen, and then connect out the door into the woods. I really hope this works and I don't end up damaging the floors and the walls. Oh my God, this is so crazy.
And just because putting a roller coaster in your house is cool, doesn't mean it can't get cooler. So I decided to paint the track yellow to stand out more. And after painting all the pieces, I started connecting everything together inside the house.
All right, now it's time to get this track off the ground.
And after 2 straight hours of just connecting and drilling all the track pieces into place,
This looks insane inside of a house. Now I need to see if this can actually hold my weight. Oh my God, it just breaks right now. Yo, it holds. That's actually really stable. Now that I know that it holds my weight, it's time to test it with the coaster. All right. I mean, so far, so good. Hop on now.
Wait, look how wild this looks just inside the house right now. What do you think, Lou?
3, 2, 1.
Tally ho.
Oh my God. This is crazy. No way. Oh, it's so close to that area.
I just rode a roller coaster in my house.
What is this?
All right, the last thing I have to do is now connect the track that's outside the front door to the track that's inside the front door. Once I connect this, the entire track will be done. What? No way I messed that up.
Just barely too big.
It was almost perfect.
But after a very fast cutting session,
After days of work, the roller coaster is finally done. It's time to test it out.
now just before I was gonna risk my life on my new creation, I decided to test the roller coaster one more time, and thank God I did.
Oh my God. Look at that. The cart fell off the track.
If I was on this roller coaster, things would have been very, very bad right now.
Someone need to get a new board to replace this part of the track.
And after spending an hour fixing the board and the coaster,
It works.
so after days of building, it was finally time to test out the entire roller coaster. I had one goal throughout this video, and that was to rebuild my favorite childhood roller coaster, the Serpent. So I got into the seat, and it was finally time to test out the whole roller coaster for the first time.
Roller coaster test. The first time. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's in reverse. 3, 2, 1.
I could not believe this was actually working. I was riding a freaking roller coaster through my house. Now, as much fun as I was having, there was still one thing left I needed to do, and that was hit 31 miles per hour. So I went full speed down the hill and... But now, you don't just build a roller coaster in your house without sharing it with the people you love. So I invited all of my friends and family to come test it out.
Pop up.
Oh, God. Everyone loved the roller coaster.
Oh, but never make me do this again.
But there was 2 people who specifically needed to like this roller coaster, and that was my parents. Mostly because it was in their house, and if they don't like it, I'll probably never be allowed home again.
I don't know about this.
And I think it's safe to say, they also loved it. So I spent days building just to relive a childhood memory for one day. And I'll be honest with you guys, it was 100% worth it. I truly felt like I was a kid again.